Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. What size pistol should you buy? Little tiny thing or a big massive pistol? Well, I'm going to make a case in this video to say generally bigger is better. The reason I thought about this actually was I was in the city closest to us last weekend doing some shopping with my daughter, and we happened to go into Sportsman's because why not? And of course, out of all of the handguns that we had there, I was looking at a Walther PDP Pro. Very nice pistol, by the way. Might have to get one for the channel. But of course, they had the little pink and like blue and every different color of the Sky SCCY pistols. And my 12-year-old daughter, just turned 13 the other day, she was like, "Ooh, I want that one." And I think that a lot of people fall into that trap. I don't want to say women specifically, but I think that a lot of people think that maybe that a smaller gun is going to be easier to handle when that couldn't be farther from the truth. So make sure you're subscribed and we're going to get a little deeper into this. So I want to set some ground rules here. Technically, we're going to talk about pistols for all different uses, whether for concealed carry, for home defense, range use, whatever it may be. I generally have decided after a few years of doing this and shooting a lot and concealed carrying every day that bigger is actually almost always better. Now, there is, not huge when it comes to concealed carry, and there is a limit on that. But in general, a bigger gun is going to be easier to shoot well, and it's going to be more fun, more enjoyable, and you're just going to be better with it. And that is almost always true. So like a 1911, a full-size 1911 here, steel, all steel gun. It's a really easy gun to shoot well, especially this one chambered in 9mm. It's just easy. And a big part of why bigger guns are easier to shoot, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. For one, if you can get a full grip on the gun, it's much easier to control the recoil on it, and you can actually get a better trigger press when you've got a full grip with both your hands on the thing, holding it still. It's just easier to press that trigger straight to the rear than if you don't have a full grip and you're kind of squeeze it, you can pull that shot off. But for two, more mass, a heavier gun, well, the way physics works, if they're all chambered in the same thing, and I'm going to specifically talk about 9mm pistols in this video. If they're all chambered in the same round, well, if you have the same amount of force coming out of something like this or something like this, the one with more mass is going to move less when it recoils because that mass is going to take some of that recoil so that you don't have to take it all. And so that's a big deal. It's just going to make it easier for you to put follow-up shots on target quicker and more accurately, and you're just going to feel more confident with it. Now, I've had to learn this over time. I keep showing this gun because this was my concealed carry gun for a long time. And the reason why I went with something so small is because the first gun that I tried to concealed carry was, well, it was a Glock 19 size gun. So it's about the size of this, a 4-inch barrel, 15-round capacity. Now this one, it didn't have a comp on it. It didn't have a light. It didn't have an optic. None of that. But the base pistol here, it was that size. And, that is probably the most popular carry gun in the country, in the world possibly, is the Glock 19. So it's totally carryable. But for one thing, I had a terrible holster. I didn't know shit yet. And so I just didn't know what I was doing. And I tried to carry that. It was uncomfortable. It moved around a lot. I felt like it printed a lot. And so I tried a couple other pistols before I eventually got to the SIG P365. But the issue there is no matter how much I went and shot this thing, I didn't feel very confident with it. And so now I carry bigger guns. Now these aren't the biggest guns in the world, but this one, again, I've gone back to a 4-inch barrel. This is about the size in these dimensions as a Glock 19. but not in this dimension. And we'll talk all about that and more after a quick word from our channel partner. This video is sponsored by Aura. How important is privacy to you? Well, to me, it's actually very important, especially the older that I get. You have, a digital signature that follows you. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, so much of life is online now. And if you don't have something like Aura protecting you, well, then you just have a lot of your own personal information out there. And people that, are not very honest have access to that. There are data brokers on the dark web and just the regular internet that are out there finding your information, and then they're selling it to scammers and to, spam companies that, call you with stuff you don't want to hear about and send you emails. And, I have gotten very sick of getting spam, but the biggest thing is also scammers. They take that information and they get them from data brokers, and they use that information to try to scam you. I've been really surprised before when I've gotten calls from scammers how accurate the information that they had about me was, which, makes it seem like it's something legit when it's not. Well, I've had Aura for 8 months now, and I don't get spam calls anymore, and I haven't gotten calls from scammers in that 8 months. Aura is a really awesome service. You can set it up in a matter of minutes. It's very affordable. It gives you a VPN. It gives you, data broker removal. That's the big one to me. But all kinds of other services that help protect your privacy online, you get all that, and it's only $12 a month. But if you use my link down below, aura.com/sawtoothtactical, you get to try it out for free for 14 days. That's 2 weeks. See if you like it and decide if you want to keep it or not. Check it out, aura.com/sawtoothtactical. So of course, when it comes to shooting at the range, home defense, bedside pistol, bigger is better. You get more capacity, and like I said, it's just going to be a gun that's easier to shoot well, and you're going to probably feel more confident with it. I feel very confident with this Springfield Prodigy here. 4¼ inch barrel, 20 round magazines. It's not a small pistol, especially with the light and the red dot and everything else on it. But this to me is a little bit too big to carry concealed on a daily basis. It's a heavy gun, and honestly, it's pretty big. I mean, I'm not the hugest guy in the world. This would be hard for me to conceal. And I'm telling you that because I know, because I have tried it. But this, even though it's easy to conceal and you barely even notice it on you, if you don't feel like you can hit the broadside of a barn, well, that's kind of pointless too. You gotta feel confident with your carry pistol. And so what I carry now, I carry 2 guns specifically. I carried this, the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus Carry Comp. Carry Comp because it's compensated in the slide in the barrel, and that, I believe, helps to control muzzle rise and recoil as well. But also, it's not a tiny gun. I mean, if you look at the P365 versus the Carry Comp here, and I have to hold this P365 together because it is literally only a slide and a grip module. And I'll explain why in a minute, because I used the fire control unit to build out a different P365. But the difference in size between the two of these is quite a bit. This one's got a longer barrel, it's got a longer grip. It is just a bigger gun, but it's very thin and it's very lightweight. And what I have found is that I can carry this very, very comfortably. It barely prints, and I'm carrying it with a 13 round extended magazine. You can also carry it with a 10 round flush fit magazine, but then you have that kind of pinky hang there. And I feel like if I'm going to carry a gun, I want it to be something that I feel confident with. And this Carry Comp, I feel about as confident with this as I do with my full-size M&P here. And I feel very confident with this gun. If you put them side by side, not much difference. Let's see if I can line them up in size there, unless you look at it in that dimension, in which case it is much thinner. And that's what makes it that much more comfortable to carry. But being that it's got a bigger barrel, bigger grip, longer barrel, longer slide, it feels like a bigger gun when you're shooting it. And so it's something that I feel very confident with. And the same goes for my nighttime carry here. And this is what I put the fire control unit from my P365 in. This is basically a P365 XL grip module with the X macro integrated comp slide with a light and an optic. And I've had comments lately from people, why would you put 5 pounds worth of accessories on a micro compact? Well, for one, it doesn't weigh 5 pounds, but for two, it makes it a much more shootable gun and makes me feel more confident with it. Both of my current carry guns, I feel like I could shoot very, very well. And I think that that is really important. And we're not only going to talk about carry guns in this video, but I think that a lot of people go for the smallest possible thing that they can when it comes to concealed carry to be comfortable and to make sure that they don't print. But if you don't feel like you could shoot that carry gun well, then you're not going to really feel very confident carrying it. I feel very confident carrying either one of these. And they're both bigger. You know, the P365 XL is definitely bigger than the standard P365 here, especially with the light and the optic. And I mean, the 4-inch Shield Plus is, I mean, it's a bigger gun. It's more what you would call a compact, like a Glock 19 size. It's just thinner. And it makes a big difference. I feel a lot better carrying a gun that I know that I could put hits on target if I need to. To me, that just makes me feel a lot better. I don't want to carry something that I don't feel like I could shoot well. But we're not only talking about carry in this video. Guns in general. A lot of people for their first gun, I think, buy guns that are too small. I think that maybe there is a misconception out there that a smaller gun is going to be easier to handle because it's this little thing, you know, the noisy cricket. Well, nothing could really be farther from the truth. This right here, full-size Smith & Wesson M&P. For a striker-fired gun, it feels really good. It's a little bit bigger than what I would normally carry. Now, I know a lot of people do carry guns this big, and more power to you if you can. I think something just a little bit thinner and a little bit more lightweight is easier to carry. But this gun is easier to shoot than this one. Even that just little bit extra mass makes a difference. And of course, you know, that apex trigger sure helps too. But a bigger pistol is going to be easier for you to shoot. I don't care who you are. No matter what, pretty much across the board, you know, a lot of videos I'm like, this is my opinion. Well, this is pretty much truth. A full-size pistol is going to be easier to shoot, and it's also going to be more fun to shoot. And if you're enjoying it, then you're going to go out and train and practice regularly a lot more, and you're going to get better at it, which is going to make it even more fun. And then you're going to go out and train and practice more, and you're going to get better, which is going to make it even more fun. And then you're going to go out and train and practice even more. And then eventually you're going to be like me, and you're going to go out as much as you can because you really like shooting, because it's become a lot of fun. A bigger gun is a lot more fun to shoot. If I go out to the range and from any kind of real distance, I'm having a hard time hitting the target, not really enjoying that range trip very much. But if I go out there with either one of these and I feel like I could shoot fast and accurate, well, then I'm having a great time. So there's no denying that a bigger gun is going to be more fun to shoot, and you're going to feel better shooting it. You're just going to shoot it better. But when it comes to carry, I think you can also get away with a bigger gun that you're going to shoot better. And let me just use this as an example. So the original little P365 that I carried in this tier 1 concealed appendix holster here. Well, this is the P365 XL that I put together in a tier 1 concealed appendix holster. And if you look at it, even though the slide and barrel is longer on this one, the holster is the same length. So this gun doesn't feel any bigger than this one does to carry. And honestly, it doesn't print more, it doesn't feel heavier. It's easy to carry. And I've been carrying this one a lot since I bought it. Also very easy to carry. if you have the right holster and the right belt, you can carry a bit bigger of a gun. Now, some people carry, full-size 2011s. Good for them. I'm not them. I do kind of think that there is a Goldilocks zone that most people are going to have to find when it comes to carry. And I think that you got to kind of balance shootability with concealability, comfortability. And I think that there is, a kind of a perfect size there. And I think that there's a reason that a lot of these companies that first started making these really tiny carry guns have all kind of gotten bigger and bigger again, and things have kind of come full circle. The P365 was revolutionary when it first came out. But then they came out with the P365 XL, and now most people are carrying the P365X Macro, which is even bigger than this. Same size slide and barrel, but a bigger grip with a 17-round capacity. The Shield Plus originally had a 3.1-inch barrel. It would have been cut off right about there. Now they've got this carry comp version with a 4-inch barrel, and that's what I'm carrying. And I think people have found that you can carry a little bit bigger of a gun, and if it's going to make it so that you feel a lot more confident with it and you shoot it better, well, then I think that you should. And then again, carry as big a gun as you can comfortably carry because you're going to shoot it better. I don't want to make this video too long, but that's kind of my whole point. I think that getting guns that are too small is just going to make you not enjoy shooting them. You're not going to practice with them as much, and you're never going to feel very confident with them. And so if you're in the market for a pistol, I think the smartest thing to do is go one size up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me. I think bigger is almost always better. Size does matter. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.